Hello and welcome again in another asynchronous period. Uh, Today we're going to do Unit 8, Lesson 3, Workbook, page 54. Alright, so let's get started. Our topic today is a reading comprehension on the Silk City or Madinat al-Harir. This is a picture of the conception of the city, and we're going to go through more details in a second. So what we need to focus on today is about the Silk City or Madinat al-Harir is location and history and reasons for building the city, and finally Mubarak Al-Kabir Tower or Burj Mubarak. Let's get started with the words for this passage.
Contentment. Contentment.
Okay, so this is our first word, and it's the state of being happy and satisfied.
Crown jewel. Crown jewel.
This is our second word, and it means the most valuable thing that a person or place has.
Demarcation. Demarcation.
The point at which one area of work or responsibility ends and another begins.
Skyline. Skyline.
It's the shape made by hills or buildings against the sky.
Vertical. Village.
Vertical. Village.
And the vertical village is the same amount of people occupying a village, but in one tall building, like you see here in the picture. Alright, so those are the vocabulary items that we need to get to know before we start reading and doing exercise. So let's do the first exercise. Here, before reading the article, Silk City, match these words A to F with their meanings from 1 to 8. So we need to do matching here. There are two extra meanings we're not going to use. So remember, we have the words on the left, definitions on the right. I'm going to give you 1 minute to try it for yourselves. Alright, so let's get started. The first word is crown jewel. And a crown jewel is, if we look here, we'll find that it matches number 7, a prized asset or achievement. Alright, the second word, inception. Inception. You'll find that it matches number 5, the establishment or starting point of something. The next word, demarcate. It's number 1, to separate or distinguish. Our next word is the traverse, and it matches with A, to travel across or through. The next word is meticulously, and this is E, and it matches number 4. Right, carefully and precisely. And finally, skyline, it matches number 2, as we had in the definitions earlier, the outline of buildings defined against the horizon. Now I'm gonna watch a video on Madinat al-Harir, and then we'll get to our text. Alright, so let's start with these words. was the video that we have for today, and it's about Silk City, or the Madinat Al-Harir project. All right. Now, here what I want you to do is to read the article and answer these questions. We have 3 questions here. A, why is the city being built? So we need to know the reasons or the purpose behind the city. And B, how will the population of Madinat al-Harir be kept happy? All right. And the last question we need on this passage for now, what is exceptional about Burj Mubarak Al-Kabir? All right. So keep the 3 questions in mind, and let's get started with the reading. Okay. Um, Madinat al-Harir, or Silk City, otherwise known as Silk City, is an innovative solution to the problems facing Kuwait. This 130 billion project will result in the construction of a new city, combining residential, financial, and commercial districts. Taking its name from the ancient Silk routes that traverse Kuwait, the ultimate aim of the project is to establish Kuwait's status as a commercial hub of the world, while it's providing habitation and a desirable lifestyle for the proposed city's 700,000 residents. The city will also create around 450,000 new jobs. The city, which is to be built in Subaya, north of Kuwait City, will be a unique city because its layout has been completely and meticulously planned from its inception. In this way, its growth will be less organic than other cities, which often add housing and businesses as needed, but will benefit from clear demarcations between residential, financial, commercial, and leisure areas. The design is not simply about creating new living places, but creating an architectural space that induces contentment and well-being. The city is going to be built with its residents in mind and features large expanses of greenery along with all the normal amenities people in the modern world have become accustomed to. In fact, to guarantee the residents' happiness, the city is designed so that you would never be more than 3 blocks away from a garden or water. The crown jewel of Madinat al-Harir will be the Burj Mubarak Al-Kabir. This tower which will stand at 1,001 meters and 200 stories high, will house the equivalent of 7 vertical villages. This imposing construction will dominate the skyline, and is just one example of the ways in which modern engineering allows designers to overcome the constraints of limited land. All right, so this is the passage that we have, and for the 3 questions we need to answer from the passage. All right, I'm going to give you 2 minutes to think about it, and after that I'm going to discuss answers with you. So remember, we have 3 questions. Again, why and how and what is exceptional about Burj Mubarak, right? So let's see the first question together. Why is the city being built? Okay, so to establish Kuwait as a commercial hub and to provide housing and jobs. All right, so this is the answer for the first question A. Now, what about the second question? How will the population of Madinat al-Harir be kept happy? All right, if we go down the passage, we'll find this answer. In line, if we go line 15, we can see that yes, to ensure their happiness, people will always be near water or greenery. All right, and the last question we have for now is what is exceptional about Burj Mubarak Al-Kabir? Actually, we have more than one thing to say here, so we can say it is 1,001 meters tall, 200 stories, houses even 7 vertical villages. All right, now let's move on to do more exercises on the passage. Here, exercise number 3. Use the words in the box taken from the article to complete the following sentences. So we have here these words to fill in the spaces here. All right. So let's do this after 1 minute. Okay, so let's start with the first one. The area is where people live. What do we call the area where people live? We have innovative habitation, crown jewel, residential, financial, and amenities. So, yes, it is residential. So, this is the area where people live. All right, now let's do the second one. B. Banks and other similar institutions can be found in the sector. Now, um, let's see here. We have banks and similar institutions. So we're talking about money here. So it's obvious that we need to take the word yes, financial. Financial would be the answer. Right. The next one, C. The local include parks, swimming pools, and other leisure areas. Now, it's what makes people enjoy the city or the place, which is amenities. All right, okay. The next point is D. Despite being in constant use, the building showed little sign of. Now, this is the opposite of what is expected because we have here despite, so it's unexpected result. So we need to know, yes, very good, habitation. Okay, so here it's in constant use, but still it's showed no or little sign of habitation, no people going on in or out. Now the next one, E. The new transport system is extremely modern and yes, so we need a synonym here, something similar, innovative. All right, that leaves us to the last question here. The new tower will be this huge city. Something special. All right, yes, it's the crown jewel. Crown jewel. Good job, everyone. Let's move on to exercise. In this exercise, we need to choose the correct answer with reference to the article. Okay, so here we have to go back quickly. Which of these statements about Silk City are not true? So remember here, not true. And the second question, which of these statements about Silk City is true this time? All right, so I'm gonna let you read and then I'll take your answers afterwards. So it's right for yourselves. Okay, so we have every aspect of Silk City has been designed and thought of out carefully. So this is true. So it's not the answer that we want. Now the second sentence said the city will house 700,000 people. All right, and this is mentioned clearly in the passage. So again, it's true. The last one we have here is number 3. The only aim of the city is to establish Kuwait as a major commercial hub. Well, this is partially true. It's an aim, but it's not the only aim. So, yes, you guessed it right. This is number 3, and it is not true. Right. The second question, which of these statements about Silk City is true? Water and plant life are used to create a pleasant environment. All right. The inorganic design. Now, in the passage, it is organic and not organic. So here, this one is excluded, and residential, financial, and commercial buildings are combined in each sector. They said that they are separated with clear demarcation. So obviously, the sentence that is true, or the statement that is true here, is number 1. All right. Very good. Let's do some more. Okay. I'm gonna give you 1 minute also to do it. Okay, so see, what is the best definition of organic as used in the text here? Okay, it's not in general. Right, it's number 2. Yes, very good. Characterized by continuous and natural development. So the city is going to keep developing naturally. All right. Okay. The last one here, D. What is the best definition of vertical villages? Yes. Okay, you nailed it. Yes, the equivalent of several residential areas within a tall building. Very good, everyone. Now let's do a different type of exercise. Here, number 5, look back at the article on page 54. Summarize the differences between Silk City and other modern cities. So we're going to do some kind of comparison here in the form of bullets. So use bullet points, all right? So again, I'm going to give you 2 minutes to think about it. So please go back to your books, page 54, read the passage again, try to get the differences between Silk City and other modern cities. Okay, ready to go? So we can say that Silk City will be a unique city because its layout has been completely and meticulously planned from its inception. So this is the first point. Its growth will be less organic than other cities, which often add housing and businesses as needed, but will benefit from clear demarcations between residential, financial, commercial, and leisure areas. All right. Good job, everyone. So let's move to our last exercise for today, and this is over to you. How do you think cities like Silk City will change the way we live? All right. If we think about it, we'll find that in the passage, the following points might concern with changing the way that we live for today. All right. So the first thing, establishing Kuwait as a commercial hub of the world, providing habitation and solving the problem of housing, guaranteeing residents' happiness. So remember residents' happiness or contentment in the passage by providing greenery and overcoming the problem of limited lands and providing more jobs for people. Okay, so when people live in such a place, they for sure will be happier. All right, that's all for today's lesson. Thank you all for following and doing the exercises. Until next time, goodbye and keep safe.